Hi, I'm Melissa McCall, and I am the music teacher at Hartwell Elementary in Hartwell, Georgia. I teach K through 5, and I get the wonderful privilege of teaching all of the students at this school. So what I wanted to do is be able to go over with you what the arts are doing, specifically to music, what we're doing concerning STEM. What I'm going to do is to break this into 3 different sections. I'm going to talk about what we've done in the past concerning STEM, what we are currently doing now, and what we will be doing in the future. At the beginning of the year, I love to emphasize rhythm with my students, and so we bring in the African drum circle. And when we talk about the African drum circle, we're touching on many standards, but the major questions that we ask are what creates high and low pitches in the African drums. This gets the students thinking about how sound is created and how sound is created concerning how sound changes, how our different sounds are created on a single drum, and what variables on that drum cause the sound to change. So as you may notice that on the top it sounds different because it's a different material, whereas if you begin to play on the side, that's a totally different material that creates a different sound. And why does that material create a different sound? So here on this particular lesson, which can turn into a huge unit, which I usually spend about a month on, we touch into the standard of performing on instruments, which is the required standard for music. And then we also touch into a scientific standard where we're demonstrating how vibrating objects and how sound can be varied by the change of the rate of vibration. The kids absolutely love it. One of the other things that we have also done in the past in our music room is we've talked about numbers, and so this is where we get involved with math. We do multiplication with rap, and I usually start with the 3rd grade on this. 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, we'll do some mini lessons with this, and that's where we're learning our multiplication through rap music. So I'm bringing in the standard of singing along with others through a varied repertoire of music, which some students listen to rap, some students don't. So we are engaging in this American music, and then we're also touching into the standard of with our numbers, especially multiplication, which begins with the 3rd grade and goes all the way up to 5th grade, obviously. Another one that we have done, another lesson, is our 12-bar blues with our boomwhackers. We think about questions like what creates high and low pitches, which gets us into our science standards with the vibrations and sounds. We also study what Roman numerals are, because when we start talking about jazz music, most of the notation or chord progressions are notated in Roman numerals. Many students are first introduced to Roman numerals this way, and so it's really awesome to be able to integrate math as well with that so that they're learning their Roman numerals as well. And we also ask questions like how we use these Roman numerals to create the 12-bar blues chord. Another lesson that I do with my younger ones is we talk about the weather. We do a unit on rain. And when we do this, we do loads of songs on rain. We talk about the things that we would wear if we were to go outside into that particular weather. And if the weather were different, the types of things that we would wear, types of clothing that we would wear as well. This connects our standard of singing along with others, our music standard. And then for science, this connects for 1st grade especially, it connects their science standard of being able to observe and measure and communicate weather data to see patterns in weather and climate. The last thing that we have done in the past specifically is we've created a musical through storytelling. Love to use our library. Our media specialist is wonderful with working with me and providing material that I can bring into the classroom. So we decided to use the book There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly. The students ask questions like, can the human body actually do this, before we even get into the music making part of it. And this gets us thinking about how our body is made and what is involved with when our body digests certain things. Why can the lady swallow these different insects or animals? Or why can't she? Why wouldn't this work? What sounds would be great sound effects when we begin to tell the story? And so the students have to think about how the instruments are used, their sounds, and how we actually put that with the different characters in our story. For example, if we're using a triangle, what animal or insect would go best with this particular sound, the triangle? Or if I'm using handbells, or if I'm using a drum. So it gets the students thinking for themselves and creating sound effects for their own story. This particular lesson was phenomenal, and if you would like to get more information on that, you can actually go to our music blog, which is Miss McCall's jamstation.wordpress.com. You can check it out there. What we're currently doing is, concerning music and STEM, is we're creating a music book or composition project. This is with my 3rd through 5th grade class. And we ask questions during this project like what creates high and low pitches with the handbell. So we're using a completely different type of instrument. We also ask questions like how do number sequences change the melody of my composition. This is so cool because the students get to arrange their own music according to numbers and color before they even hear it, which is how a lot of the modern day composers have composed music, using math. And most of the students don't know that. And so when they're able to do it, they become very, very confident in their musical ability or being able to do anything. First, they put their sequence together and their colors together, and then they take it over to the instrument and they follow the color of the instrument to hear what their particular melody sounds like. After they do that, we put it on regular staff paper and we transcribe those colors to actual notes. And they have that key on the board so that you can actual musicians, people who can read music, would be able to come in and read their music. We are putting this into a book so that Hartwell Elementary will have their first music composition, which is composed or created by their students. Not me, them. The other thing that we've done, we just recently had a STEM night, and we used music technology at this STEM night. At this particular station, we had iPads and Chromebooks set up so that students could actually study or be able to see the way sound is created. So in the music classroom, we are used to hearing sound, but with the musicchromeexperiments.com website, we were able to actually allow the students to see what the music sounds like. So it was a very, very amazing experience for them. They loved it, didn't even have enough time to go through all of it, so we'll be doing an experiment, a more extensive experiment or unit on that particular music technology lesson. In the future, I would love to be able to create an iPad ensemble. And this would allow students to compose their own music using technology and electronic sounds and to orchestrate and publish their music. The whole idea of starting the blog is to be able to provide a space for students to put their own work there so that their peers can see it and so that their parents and other administration and teachers would be able to also see it. This makes their work legitimate, and they would be the authors of all of this, which would make it even more amazing and more student oriented, of course. So what we would do is we would bring in iPads, we would put the application of GarageBand upon it and show students how to use that and how to create and orchestrate their own music. From there they would be able to publish it and put it onto the blog and any other spaces like Facebook or YouTube even, or other education safe social media platforms as well, and they would be able to share there and to also critique others, analyze others' work as well. So it's a phenomenal idea, and I'm excited to be able to do it. We're also going to be organizing a ukulele ensemble where students will be able to learn how to tune an instrument, which gets them studying the length of strings and how vibrations work concerning the length of strings. And we'll also be doing a unit on recorder ensemble, which we've also done in the past, but I put this in the future because we haven't done it this year yet. We usually do it in the second semester, and so we are coming around to that time. When we start with the recorder ensemble, this is where we start to really think about how wind affects our sound. And so this is a different type of music creation. We're no longer dealing with strings, we're no longer dealing with necessarily the vibrations, we're dealing with wind and how wind creates certain sounds. Another project that we'll be doing centers around didgeridoos. And didgeridoo is a type of Australian instrument, and we did a unit on this last spring semester, and so we'll be tying this back in on this spring semester where we'll actually get a chance, hopefully, to create the instrument. Usually when we do this subject, last year we studied the eucalyptus tree, which is pretty awesome, and we studied the area, the Australian area, and why the eucalyptus tree was the tree that was chosen for this particular ancient instrument. And then we talk about other materials that could be used to create a didgeridoo. We will be using PVC pipe to create one, and it will be awesome. The last thing that we'll be doing in the future, tying in with our STEAM project, is it ties into the bigger project, which is the garden, the agriculture project that is going on now. And we'll be creating a musical garden, a musical area within the garden that the students will be harvesting. We'll create instruments out of recycled material. And another idea is to create a big science experiment with the 5th grade specifically to prove whether or not plants grow better with music versus plants that don't have music. These are some things that we are looking forward to, tying our math and lots of science, lots of technology, and lots of math together as well. We've got great things going on with art as well. The art program has worked well with the bigger agriculture project that's going on, and they have developed some beautiful planners and that they're going to put into that musical garden. The other thing is that they've also gotten together with some of the 3rd grade when they talked about the cell structures, and so they did a nice art project on drawing cells and tied that into the lessons that they did there. Thank you so much for your time. We're really excited about what's going on, and I appreciate you listening to what we have going on at Hartwell Elementary in our music department. Have a great one.